This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitsky. We begin with a shooting that injured at least 2 people in East Bakersfield. The shooter still on the run this afternoon. According to BPD, officers responded to a shot spotter alert on Niles Street near Oregon Street just before 3 a.m. When officers arrived, they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. His injuries are described as moderate. Police say they followed a blood trail in the area, which led them to a second victim with a minor gunshot wound. Only one victim was taken to the hospital. Police say there is no new suspect information on that shooter at this time. If you know anything, you are asked to contact BPD at 327-7111. Well, the search continues for a suspected child killer who is considered armed and dangerous. Now, there is still no update on where Tyrone Johnson may be after he and David Palms escaped Laerdo jail on Wednesday morning. Both men are accused of killing 3-year-old Major Sutton in 2017. Court documents say Johnson kicked down the door to the boy's apartment in Bakersfield before he and Palms opened fire inside. Sutton was killed. His older brother and pregnant mom were wounded. On Wednesday, you may remember both men escaped Laerdo. Palms was tracked down and arrested in Shafter later in the day. We asked KCSO how they managed to escape the maximum security wing of the county's pre-trial facility. All they were saying is the investigation remains active and they're looking at any potential structure or security failures within the facility. Officials say that they will release details on when they become available as that investigation allows. Now, if you've seen Tyrone Johnson, call 911. Deliberations continue today in the case of a Bakersfield attorney who was murdered in 2017. Nicholas Quintana has admitted to repeatedly stabbing Marcos Vargas after meeting him on a dating app, but Quintana testified he acted in self-defense. Thursday afternoon, prosecutor Eric Smith wrapped up his rebuttal closing argument, and the case went to the jury, who deliberated for about an hour before leaving for the day. Quintana is charged with first-degree murder, robbery, and manufacturing an assault weapon, and we will let you know if there are any updates with that jury trial coming up here later tonight as well. Now, in the meantime, coronavirus continues to slowly spread in our community. Public Health announced 24 new cases today. No new deaths were reported, but our death toll jumped over the weekend to 1,354 lives lost. Meantime, our hospitals continue to see the lowest numbers in more than a year. Currently, state data shows 19 people are in the hospital with the virus. Only 4 people are in the ICU. Well, Greenlaw Funeral Homes is partnering with Mayor Karen for a day of healing this week to recognize the loss of loved ones, jobs, and more during COVID-19. The funeral home will host a ceremony on Thursday at their location in Southwest Bakersfield. Guests can write notes with a message about their loss and place it in a time capsule in front of the Celebration of Life Center. The memorial will be a permanent fixture at the cemetery. Greenlaw staff members say they hope to add additional personal notes to the time capsule over the coming months. And the Federal Emergency Management Agency is still accepting applications for its funeral assistance program, which will reimburse funeral expenses for those who have lost family members to COVID-19. Expenses for funeral services include things like a casket or urn, burial plot, arrangement for a funeral ceremony, and more. To begin the application process, you can call that number on your screen. The phone line is open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And a reminder, everyone 16 years old and up is eligible for the vaccine. The vaccine site at the Kern County Fairgrounds is still operating from Wednesdays through Sunday, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the vaccine hub at CSUB is still accepting appointments through May 14th. To sign up for an appointment at that site or any other location in Kern County, head to the state's website, myturn.ca.gov. You can also call the number on your screen, 833-422-4255.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Well, today marks the beginning of Nurses Week, a week meant to celebrate and show appreciation for nurses around the country. After more than a year spent battling COVID-19, this Nurses Week means more than ever. Adventist Health Bakersfield is celebrating by offering art therapy and local hospitals.
It's a bit of art therapy that we're offering our nursing staff. And they've been through a lot this last year, and we want to give them something really nice and relaxing, an activity for this week. And painting and creating is always, it's just good for the soul.
Painting, having fun.
Local artist Jennifer Williams Cordova is designing that mural. If you recognize her, that's because Williams Cordova has been making a name for herself around Kern County.
A year ago, we had this idea to do a paint-by-number mural, but we couldn't do it because of COVID. So it was really fun to bring it back this year, now that things have gotten a little bit better. And I just wanted to design something that would be joyful and colorful, that the nurses would really connect with.
Thank you for giving hope is the theme for this year's Nurses Week. From our 17 follow-up file, the SPCA Animal Shelter had an amazing weekend with over $7,500 raised for their Unleash Your Love fundraiser. At the beginning of the pandemic, adopting pets was all the rage. Shelters were elated and fur babies were having no problems finding new homes. Things quickly shifted as COVID restrictions began to lift. While humans have been anxiously awaiting a return to normalcy, pets are getting the short end of the stick.
As more restrictions have been lifted, what we're seeing now is more people wanting to turn in large dogs especially. And so, we have always typically had a lot of small dogs come into our shelters, but we don't see that anymore. It's really everybody asking to turn in their large dogs, and it has really gotten to be an issue because large dogs, we can only house one per kennel, obviously, and they're much harder to turn around and re-adopt out.
The shelters ask anyone interested in adopting to please come forward, but they want to make sure future pet owners are aware of the responsibility. Puppies and kittens grow up to be big dogs and cats that still need a home and a loving family. And a reminder, you can still donate to the SPCA. We have the link on our website, kget.com. We're just one day away from a special event that celebrates the giving spirit of the Golden Empire, Give Big Kern. The Day of Giving is held annually on the first Tuesday in May, but they've been accepting donations online for weeks leading up to tomorrow's big day. Dozens of local nonprofits are participating this year, and they need your support. Organizers say despite the pandemic, they were able to raise nearly $750,000 last year. This year, the Day of Giving will be virtual once again. For more information on how to help out, you can visit our website, kget.com. Well, Thursday is National Day of Prayer, and there are a few ways you can get involved in Kern. Canyon Hills Church in Bakersfield is inviting the community to meet at the Liberty Bell on Truxtun Avenue at noon. Delano residents are invited to gather at the First Assembly of God Church at 6 p.m. And if you're in Wasco, the community is invited to meet at the intersection of 15th and D Street for an event in observance of the day at 6 p.m. And the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center is offering free skin cancer screenings this weekend in support of Melanoma Awareness Month. Now, the CBCC encourages you to book an appointment before they run out. You can schedule appointments for times between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on this Saturday. You have to be 18 or older for a screening. For more information or to schedule an appointment, you can call that number on your screen. And Mare Therapeutic Riding Stables is back with their annual Ride-a-thon. Equestrians will be counting laps as they ride, raising money for their equine assistance therapeutic riding programs. Now, those programs that they offer help children, adults, and veterans with physical, cognitive, and emotional challenges. That event runs all the way till Friday. If you'd like to learn more, head to their website, mareridingcenter.com/rideathon 2021. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.